Game 2 of the ALDS between the New York Yankees and the Tampa Bay Rays is in the books, and it was a final score of the Tampa Bay Rays winning 7-5. In this video, I'm going to go over the game, the main takeaways, brief recap, and then later on give my predictions for the rest of this series. If you guys do like videos like this, make sure to leave a like. Comment, what did you think about some of the decisions made by the Yankees in this game, and how do you see the rest of the series going? You can also comment what kind of videos you would like to see, and then subscribe to keep up with those videos that I posted per your request. So let's get right into it. What really, it drives you crazy, it's very obvious, is the fact that David Garcia only went one inning in this game. After the Yankees win game 1, it was a pretty good game. You have them go off in the 9th inning, led by the big Giancarlo Stanton grand slam. You know what? You beat Blake Snell. That was a really good win for the Yankees. You're up in the series 1-0. Now, you have another good pitching matchup because you have Garcia and you have Glasnow, two really good pitchers that they were big for their team. Garcia was one of the Yankees' best pitchers this year, so it's really nice to have him following up Cole in a playoff series. However, the Yankees ruined David Garcia's start by pulling him after only one inning. They went to J-Happ, and the excuses that Aaron Boone went to was left-handers coming up. I really did not like that excuse by Boone because, first of all, the Rays do a good job of balancing their lineup. When you look at their lineup, they have two left-handers at the top with Meadows and Lau. After the two lefties, the Rays will throw in a Rosarena. Then they'll have G-Man Choi, who's left-handed, but Margot, who's right-handed. Then you'll have Joey Wendell, who's left-handed. Willie Adames is right-handed. Kevin Kiermaier is left-handed. Mike Zunino is right-handed. So the Rays do a good job of balancing, lefty-righty, lefty-righty. So it's not like J-Happ was going to come to this game to face a bunch of left-handers in a row. And the other big problem is that this was only the second inning. This wasn't late in the game, this wasn't the 6th inning or something. It's only the second inning. So I really thought that was a very puzzling move by Aaron Boone, especially because J-Happ is nowhere near the pitcher that David Garcia is this year. I mean, that's just the fact. I mean, if you look at the season these two guys had, Garcia was much better. So it would make more sense to me that you would give Garcia, more of a leash to work with, because what doesn't make sense about that excuse is the fact that David Garcia goes one inning and J-Happ almost went 3 innings and he faced left-handers and right-handers. So the whole excuse makes no sense. Why would you have Happ pitch more innings than Garcia? I really don't get it because Happ didn't even pitch well. He gave up 4 runs and made the Yankees have to, I don't want to say overuse their bullpen, but they really had to use a lot of their pitchers in this game, which they probably would not have had to had you just done a normal start with David Garcia. The one thing that popped into my mind, the one thing I really think why the Yankees did this is because they wanted to outray the Rays. We know that the Tampa Bay Rays have tried to be very revolutionary with the way they handle their pitching, have an opener, try to do different things. And I think that the Yankees want to try to outsmart the Rays and try to make them look bad and, really stick it to them because these two teams kind of have a rivalry and the Rays won the division and they won the head-to-head matchup. So I just don't think that now is the time to do it because, again, just the circumstances, the pitcher you're taking out, the pitcher you're putting in, when you're doing it, the matchups, none of it worked out in the Yankees' favor to me. I mean, I don't care what analytics you give me. I don't know whose decision it ended up being because it could have been Boone, could have been Cashman, could have been the analytics department. But whoever it was just a very foolish decision, no doubt about it. Because on the other side, you're going up against Tyler Glasnow, who ended up pitching a really good game, having double-digit strikeouts in only 5 innings. Giancarlo Stanton was the only offense the Yankees were able to get against Tyler Glasnow because of Stanton's 2 big home runs. Then after that, the Rays bullpen really dominated. Guys like Diego Castillo coming in striking out batters. Nick Anderson was spectacular in 2 innings of work. Then they go to Fairbanks to try to finish it off, and Fairbanks was way too nervous, had a lot of adrenaline going, walking the ballpark. Can't find the strike zone. Then all of a sudden, Clint Frazier and Gary Sanchez start chasing, end up striking out, and Fairbanks is able to get the save. So I think that definitely was not a smart move by Frazier and Sanchez to start chasing. You wanted to let Fairbanks beat himself because he was well on his way. I mean, he was giving up base runner after base runner after base runner. So I think that if you're the Yankees, you really have got to try to stay selective and force the Rays to go to another pitcher because they had somebody warming up because they saw just how bad Fairbanks was doing in that 9th inning. So, I mean, that's one big problem. Another big problem for the Yankees in this game was the performance of the bullpen after they got Garcia out of the game. Happ wasn't great, but after him, Ottavino couldn't even get an inning. Jonathan Loaizaga wasn't great. Jonathan Holder did a good job. Then he had to go to Nick Nelson, but that's a lot of arms you have to use. And one of the things that you could say is maybe a good thing, but I'm going to tell you it's a bad thing, the use of Aroldis Chapman. The fact that the Yankees have not used Chapman in Game 1 or Game 2, I think that's a problem. Because once Chapman does eventually come in, whether that's tonight in Game 3 or Game 4, I don't think Chapman is going to have his best command. I think that Chapman, there's a good chance that he is going to be pretty wild with his accuracy, with his pitches. So I think that that could make things a little dicey, especially if you bring Chapman in a close game. So that is one thing that I do caution, I would worry about, when we look at the rest of the series. That's one of the things that really stands out to me is how is Chapman actually going to perform? And even his performance against Cleveland, he wasn't spectacular. So I am curious to see how that goes. And now, because the Yankees try to be cute in Game 2, they find themselves in a very different series now. And there is a lot of pressure on Masahiro Tanaka in Game 3 to be playoff Tanaka. One of the problems for the Yankees is that they're going to be going up against Charlie Morton, who has some success of his own in the playoffs as well. So you have, once again, a really good pitching matchup. And there's no way the Yankees are going to be cute again. You have got to let Tanaka pitch this game and probably pitch pretty long, because other than Chad Green, Bryn, and Chapman, do you trust these other guys? Do you trust Ottavino and Loaizaga and Sessa and Nelson, Holder? Do you trust these guys that much against Tampa Bay? I don't. I would much rather have the Diego Castillo and the Nick Anderson and probably Charlie Morton. So it was just very puzzling to me, that move. I think that move definitely cost the Yankees any chance in this game. And it's something that I don't want to see them do it again. Even if the Yankees do win this series, you can't do it going forward. Like, if you face the Astros the next series or the Dodgers in the World Series, you can't have Deivi Garcia only going 1 inning. You have got to let this kid pitch and see what he's made of, because I think this kid is a really good pitcher. So the only way we're going to be able to find out on the big stage is if you let him pitch more than 1 inning. As far as the rest of the series, I think it's going to be a really good one. It's going to come down to the wire. It's going to be close, but I see the Yankees winning in 5 games. I just trust their offense a little more than the Tampa Bay Rays. I know they were very all or nothing, but with the Yankees, I just feel like at any moment, somebody could go off and somebody could go yard. Because you look at what happened so far when you had Kyle Higashioka hit the home run in Game 1. You had Brett Gardner getting big hits against Cleveland. Then you had Clint Frazier hit a home run last night. Then all of a sudden Gary Sanchez will hit one. Then Judge will hit one. Stanton is on another level right now. Pretty soon, if you're the Rays, I think you have to start intentionally walking the guy. Everyone can get the job done. We know how good LeMahieu is. Voit had a great year. You know what? Gleyber Torres, like anybody on this Yankees, could get a hit at any time, and a big hit. Whereas Tampa Bay, I feel like it comes and goes. I mean, it could happen at any moment also, but I don't feel as confident. And I think that Game 4 and Game 5 are going to be fascinating. And Game 3 is a must-win for either team. Because if you could go up 2-1, who knows who's starting in Game 4 and Game 5? Is Cole coming back on short rest? I mean, who are the Yankees going to go to? Do they try Deivi Garcia again and actually let him pitch since he only did the 1 inning? Nobody knows. So I think it's just going to be really fascinating and a really good series. And to keep up with this series and what you really need to know, make sure to keep up with these videos. And until the next one, be safe, be smart, be healthy. Have a good one, everybody.